Do you ever feel lost when trying to duplicate a dresswork style from a photograph? How many of you can say yes? Just give me a thumbs up if that's true for you. I'm just recovering from being ill for the last couple of weeks, and I got slammed with COVID, and I'm still not 100% tonight. So if I go foggy on you, please forgive me, because I'm not running on all of my cylinders right now. But so I was lying in bed today, and I was like, oh, I hope I can do tonight. I've got to do tonight. I don't want to let people down. And I started to look at Pinterest. And I started to look at all these really clever things. I thought, that is so clever. Going to the next person, that is so clever. And as I looked at more and more of these brilliant things, I thought, I don't think I can do that or that or that. So I came to my studio and I started to practice some of the things I'd seen. I was completely unsuccessful. Anyway, I came up with my own version, right? As an artist, you have to be authentic to yourself. So that's my excuse. But the point is, a client will show you a photograph. I've had clients many, many times show me photographs, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm not sure that I can do that look. Do you ever overstyle the hair, feeling like you're working harder, not smarter? Usually, how many of you can say yes to this? Barbara's saying yes. So when that happens, usually the set was not correct. The product selection maybe was not correct. Maybe the hair is really being pushed to do that hairstyle. Maybe it's really not going to work for you. There are reasons why. And if you don't look at the why behind it, you can get yourself into a habit of having challenges and actually finding yourself that you're working harder and not smarter. Do you worry that your style will fall apart before the client has left the salon? That was almost my biggest nightmare. And I remember the first time I did a bride at Sassoon's when I was working in London, I did her hair. I just ran to the staff room. I was just like a nervous wreck. And I thought, it's probably going to fall apart by the time she, leaves the salon. And it haunted me for days. And I thought, there's one thing I've got to learn is how to pin. So now I know how to pin. I know how to use a hammer and a staple gun. So, yes, you see these videos as I did today and you think, oh, that's so lovely. Yeah, I can do that one. And some of them, yeah, of course you can. But, this is the reality of when we use photographs as a reference. They purely are a reference. Because it's like giving a chef a photograph of the most gorgeous chocolate gooey cream cake. And then you bring the ingredients to the chef and there is no chocolate in the ingredients. There's no flour. There's no eggs. There's other ingredients there, but there's not that. How will he be able to match when the ingredients are completely different? So yes, a reference is wonderful. I like having references because it tells me what I think the most important thing is it tells me someone's taste level. Some clients have incredible tastes, right? And some you have to guide them. So, that's where that comes in, right? So if you have had these challenges, then yes, you're in the right place tonight. And thank you again for joining me. So the common mistakes that we see, they may be wonderful in the back, but what about the front? And so many times you just see these wonderful, wonderful backs of hairstyles. And I can tell when I'm looking at them thinking, well, if that hair came back through there, she's going to look like Queen Victoria in the front, which is okay if you want to look like Queen Victoria. But it's a tricky one. So I like to design from the front to the back, unless she's going to be walking around the party with her back to everybody. So this is a big challenge. We're going to talk about that this evening because I think this is really important. So my checklist let's bring in one of my girls, my checklist for when I am designing. I first of all look at voguing around the face. So when I'm voguing around the face, let's just take this hair away. And let's just put a little clip in. I always look for oval. I'm always looking for where is my oval. So I evaluate the face. I evaluate the proportions of the face, which is the law of 3. I look at my law of 5, which is working across the face. And I look at my balance and my proportion. And when I vogue around the face, I will cup the hair, for example, and I will look. I will shift back. I will shift forward. I will open out. I will bring more around. And I will just move the hair around as I vogue around the face, looking at shapes that balance with the face shape. I always get the client to stand up. I have to evaluate body type because I need to see the shape of the neck. I need to see the shape of the shoulders. And I need to know if she's an apple, pear, or a banana. Once I've done that, and I usually will do it with the client standing this way. So here's the mirror. She holds the hand mirror. And I may be talking about how the shape is going to be, and I'm looking at, does the squareness look good? Does a triangle look good? You know, where should that length be based on whether she is clearly an apple, or if she is skinny through here and she's got volume in the lower part, which is a pear, or if she's clearly a banana. So once I've done that, then of course I study the texture of the hair. And I start to look at what is this fabric, where will this fabric shine? And for myself, you know, my background's a very strong hair cutter. So to me, the haircut is the foundation of everything. Dress work, color, perming, any texture service, the shape that's living there is the most important thing. And shapes are interrupted by shoulders. So when you're looking at a longer hairstyle, anything from here, from the collarbone upwards, is going to impact face shape. Anything from here down is going to impact body type. It's because we've entered the body. We're no longer here. So when you're looking at really changing a client's look, and I'm looking here and I'm climbing up and up and up, or down and down and down and down, I'm looking at what am I doing to the neck, and I'm looking at the total shape. Then the final thing is my 3 wheels of fashion. And we're going to go into that a little bit deeper into the program. But I'm looking at how quiet or loud is it, what fashion sensibility, and the sensuality of the look, and which one is more important to my client. So I want to just now bring in Sarah, so that you could all meet our fabulous Sarah. And hi, Sarah.
I have to unmute myself. Hi, everyone. Hi, Vivian. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's lovely to have you here, Sarah. So Sarah is a graduate of our designer program. She's a highly successful salon owner. And she's also been able to host some workshops for me, which has been wonderful because I've been so impressed with her communication skills, her professionalism, her compassion and caring, and of course her hair skills. So that's why, you know, I've included her into my bubble, into my world. But I wanted Sarah tonight to inspire you to share her experiences, her knowledge. You know, I always feel like, you know, if you're a lifelong learner, then you're always growing. And when you study some of the most successful people, they have one thing in common. They're constantly learning. And, you know, some of the people are learning at least an hour or 2 hours a day in order to be the best at what they do. And Sarah's really of that ilk as well. So, Sarah, I'm going to just brush this hair out and you can share with everybody a little bit about your experience of working with me.
Okay. Well, we were talking earlier before the class and she's like, how are you doing? And I was like, I have just recaptured the joy behind my chair due to the hair designer program and the editorial program, or the photo shoot program I just did. I feel now like I did my first year doing hair, just like invigorated, joyful. You know, I feel like I'm charging what I'm worth finally. And I just feel like not only am I more joyful behind my chair, I'm actually more joyful in my life. So I'm very grateful to Vivian and for her mentorship and for her share. Like she shares her gifts with us, and it's such a blessing. So yeah, I love everything you have to share. You know, I just feel like I'm a sponge.
That's good. Well, thank you, Sarah. I did this set today, which was a palm up, palm down set. And I also did something that I wouldn't usually do in here. I teased this and I elevated it through here so that I'm going to just go to full screen, but we'll still be able to chat with Sarah, just so that you can really see what I'm doing here. Just one second. Let me just go there. Right. So I did the technique, which I'm sure you're all familiar with now, which is the palm up, palm down. So basically, when I was here, I was holding the hair like I'm doing a haircut, and I was palm up, twist and palm down, palm up, twist and palm down. And I went all the way around the head like that. I like to use a big comb, first of all, just to see the expression of the hair. In here, I teased and I wrapped the hair around the rod. And then I repeated the palm up, palm down, because I knew I wanted to take the hair away from the face and get a really nice amount of lift in there, which clearly I have. So I have that lift, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you one very quick technique, which is your definitely your Christmas look, and then I'm going to show you a lattice work technique, which is a kind of a nice way of showing hair down. And I did it as a little experiment. So let's see if I can do it second time, because sometimes you rehearse something and it goes really well. Have you ever had that experience? You design something really well for your rehearsal with your bride or whoever, and then you go for the day and it doesn't work. Have you had that experience, Sarah?
Yes, I have. You always have to improvise, have the tools to improvise and the mindset to improvise.
Yes, absolutely. One of the things that's so important, and we do this a lot in the designer program, is we spend a lot of time working on blow drying skills. And even when you've done a set, the blow dryer with the comb can be a wonderful, wonderful tool to play with. I'm just going to increase my temperature, because it gives you a different type of shaping. You can shape at the root, and you can shape and sort of glide along. And I'm just trying to make a little bit more movement in there. And, you know, it's very important to have a blow dryer that doesn't blast too much when you're doing this. So what I'm going to do here is work on a back combing technique just to take this away from the face. And I'm just going to show you this first, then I'm going to take you into the lattice work. So here, I'm going to come through this way, and I'm just going to come through from behind, and I'm going to stack and pack the hair here to give a little tiny bit of volume. So the biggest mistake I see that hairdressers make is the client that wilts in the chair, is not studying depth. The depth of the hairstyle and where this lives, how this lives, is so very, very, very important. So I'm using my computer screen as my mirror. So as I'm coming through here, I'm just going to elevate this a bit more, and I'm just going to stack and pack in here, and then move this back. I'm just going to join the two sections together and work this back. I'm really pushing that in there. And then this final section, I'm just going to French lace it. So I'm going to over direct it forwards, because I don't want back combing to show this way. And this is very, very light, very soft, and very, very gentle. What's important about back combing is your gentle touch. You never want to be aggressive with the hair, super, super light. So we have an editorial package, and I'll be talking to you about that tonight. And it includes boot camps that we do, which is a 2-day boot camp, and they're all recorded, so you can come back and watch them afterwards. We have all of the different tutorials, but we show up twice a month for class. One is on face shape, consultation, and training your eye for shape, and the other is just a practical session. And And it's just amazing watching everyone slowly evolve. So, sometimes what we'll do is we'll spend 2 hours just working on backcombing techniques because there's such an art to backcombing the hair. And then, of course, in this case here, the study of depth, how is the hair living as I'm taking it back? So when I look at this here and I just put some light spray in, very light, always spray in the direction of the hairstyle. I'm going to take a shine brush. With my shine brush, I'm just going to smooth through. This feels like a cooking show tonight. I don't know why. And so in here, clipping it through. And so this is the thing about the world of dressing hair. There are so many choices, right? Because the hair is long and you can choose to style it so many different ways because the hair is long. When you're doing this, you can almost get overwhelmed by the choice. Have you ever felt that, Sarah?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Or, in choosing the wrong one first and then having to go back and redo it. But as long as you have that knowledge in your toolbox, then you're good. It's when you make the wrong choice and you don't know how to get out of it.
Precisely. So in this side here, let's keep that behind. In this side here, I'm going to, now that I've got my direction correct, and now that I brush this through, I can look at the wave movement I have through here. And this coming back is very, very important, and how that lives in that very nice way through there. So this, I think, is a lovely holiday hairstyle. She could have a nice piece of tinsel stuck right on the top there, or some mistletoe, right? When I was a kid, I was obsessed with mistletoe because there was a boy at school who I liked so much. And we used to hang this mistletoe all over the place. And I was just like, oh my gosh, if only he and I could just meet under the mistletoe and I'd get a kiss. I don't think he ever kissed me. It was tragic. Maybe that's why I'm a damaged female.
I wonder what he's doing now.
No, he's probably doing nothing, right? So when I put my iron in, I started high, low, 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 up, 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 up. That's how I went through there in order to get this nice, consistent wave pattern that we see all the way through here. So that's our wave pattern, right? So that's our glamorous one. So this was palm up, palm down. It refuses to stay behind her ear, which means I need a 4-inch nail. So that's our first look. And I just think this is just a lovely, lovely look for, as I say, a holiday hair and just that nice wave. So I think the wave pattern in the night, I like the idea of it being straight through here and then the wave begins. So that intentionality and that flowing through, I think, is really, really nice. So if you want to take a screen capture of this, now would be a good time. Remember what I said, guys, you'll be forgetting. There's our back. And there's our 3/4. And there's her gorgeous wave. Yeah, she's gorgeous, isn't she? And there's our gorgeous wave. That's our hero shot. And there we have her just gently cascading and going down into the back. Right, so that's look number 1. So now let's move to look number 2, which is what I really wanted to show you. I'd be very good at raising the flag. Right, so what we're going to do now, I did it before. Let's just see if I can do it again because my brain is so foggy. I'm going to come across here, this section here, which was backcombed, and that's very important. I'm going to take this across, make sure that that's nice and smooth. And I'm going to take this I'm just going to put some hairspray in here, very light. I'm going back in with my shine brush, make sure it's nice and smooth. Right, here we go. So I'm going to come in through here, and I'm going to come underneath this section here. And I'm going to put in a bobby pin. I'm going to put in a small bobby pin, a short one. That long one would have caused me a problem. These may have to come out. When I practiced this, I didn't do this, but I'm trying to be sensible right now, which is not a gift. Right. Now I'm going to come through here. And one of the things I find also in this world is that very often if you're too close to your work, you miss very important things. So here, I'm going to come through this way here, and I'm going to include this. And then I'm going to come right the way through to the back of the ear, and I'm going to clip it. So I'm going to clip this with a really good strong clip, and then we're going to go to the next thing. So that's that part. So now I'm going to come through here, and I'm going to now take a section from the here, and I'm going to now lattice weave this. So this is all going to end up in a ponytail. It's going to really be quite lovely, actually. So now this has to go under and then over, like a basket weave, so to speak, and then under and over. Okay, now I'm getting into a rhythm.
Looks good.
I'm thinking about my husband's soup that he's made for me. I tell you what, I'm a very lucky girl. I have a husband who's been really taking good care of me.
Nice.
Yeah, I married smart.
Me too.
It took a few times. There were a few dodgy ones along the way. Mm-hmm. Yeah, how many frogs have you kissed? Well, I'm almost green. Right, so and now I'm coming through here. You can see now the pattern's actually coming through. So I want this hair to hang down. It's such pretty hair. Now, this is the thing about hair as a fabric, isn't it, really? And, you know, there are some fabrics that should really hang and should be beautiful. Just if you put gorgeous red hair or gorgeous blonde hair up and you hide it all, then the beauty of that cascading long hair is gone. Meanwhile, there are some people, it's like, sweetie, just get that hair up. You know, it's a bit on the dodgy side, right? So that's given me that. I love that sort of cap effect, right? Mm-hmm. So that's that. Now I'm going to use a staple gun. No, I'm not. Now, this is the tricky part, isn't it? It's like, what the heck do you do with this? I'm going to now take this and put it into an elastic band and hope I don't drop it. So this has to go into elastic band because it has to be tight. So this now is secure here. Now this is the next challenge, right? So you can get one area really great in a hairstyle, but then you think to yourself, now what the hell do I do with this bit? Mm-hmm. Or how to make the front work? So, you know, I find that one of the most incredible creative problem-solving processes in dress work is, okay, how can I make the front look great? Now, how can I make the back look great? How do I now integrate that? So, you know, this is for that lady who has got gorgeous hair, who wants her hair hanging down. She does not want another braid. I mean, as much as I like braids, it's like, give me a break. Let's get over the braids. Let's do something else, right? Do you ever feel like that?
I do. Yeah, I mean, I like the braids because I think they serve a purpose in securing things, and they can be beautiful. But yeah, just like anything, any trend gets overdone.
So you could quite easily leave this out and hide this here. You could hide this, make that a little feature, and that could be, i.e., if I take this here and I wrap this around once and twice, and then I put the hairpin through here. Oh, it's not so easy. There we go, hairpin through there. Now, if I thread this around and thread it through, which is not so easy, but here we go. Thread that through. Hope you can see that. Now it's through the back, through the hairpin, which is underneath the band. Now, when I pull that through, you see, when you see this in a Pinterest video, they slide it through and there's no effort, right? You see me doing it, it's like I'm tugging away, like. So you could leave it like that. You could quite easily, but I'm not going to do that. I'm now going to take this front. So this front now needs to be, I've got to design into my mirror and look at how can I now take this and twist this through. I've got 3 hairstyles to show you tonight, guys, so I better pick up the speed, otherwise you'll all be sound asleep. I was going to tell you, Sarah, give me a timestamp, right?
Okay. Well, we're 31 minutes in, so.
Oh my gosh, I better really pick up the speed.
Well, when do you want to be done? Like, how long do you want it to last?
Now we should be done. All right, so now I've got this twisted here. So the first thing I have to do is concentrate and say to myself, right, what has to happen here around the face for this to look attractive? And in some cases, it may be a paper bag. Some cases, there's no hope, right? What I'm just gently doing here is clearly disorganizing this, but I just want this to be a little bit more undone through there. If it's too big, sit on it. Right, so now I'm going to take this through here and now just secure it. So that piece is sweet, that's kind of cute. This has got to come in through here. And I'm actually going to, the best way of securing this really, I could certainly pin it. Let's try that. Otherwise, I could put in another band. So that sort of just shows you the creativity. What the heck is that thing doing? It's like it's growing out of her head.
You're using a Japanese pin, right?
Yeah, Japanese pin.
I finally got mine.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. They're wonderful, aren't they?
Yeah.
I'm going to put another elastic band in here because it needs that degree of security. So what I like to do when I'm training is I always believe, as tedious as it is, and I think it comes from my dance background, you've got to have a great foundation before you leap through the air and dive into some man's arms. You've got to have your foundation of everything. Every art form has a foundation, and hairdressing is no different. Sometimes the foundations are tedious. It's like, really? We've got to do that? I love that I've got that big band showing there. So clearly I've got to do something with that, which means step and repeat, right? So before I go there with that, I'm not worrying about that right now. I'm more concerned about this ridiculous thing. So I'm going to now start to pull this apart a bit. And part of foundational work is your set. That part of foundational work is how you pin. Part of foundational work is the set that you use. These are all foundational things, right? So when you're looking at your style and you're looking at your balance, these are all very, very important parts of what we're doing. So, how you use your mirror, how you balance your shape, how you stop and look at the shape as to, is this working? Does it work from every single angle? Stop, step back. And then stepping back, sometimes you have to step back really far because when you're close, it's dodgy. And I actually do feel that some of my best work looks best about a mile away. Um, clearly, the medicine I'm taking is working. Right, there we go. A 4-inch nail behind the ear. I wanted these pieces here to be soft and coming through, so she's got that there. And actually, it does in a very strange way work. So look, we've got this lovely pattern in the back. Look at that. That's a really cool pattern.
Yeah.
You should take a picture of that, guys. Take a photograph. I'll get out of the way. It's pretty, isn't it?
It is. And the simplicity of it, it's great.
And then here is really, really pretty. So, you know, I don't think she looks like a bride. Oh, please tell me she doesn't look like a bride.
She doesn't.
Thank you. But she could be a bride if she wanted to. I think sometimes the most upsetting thing that someone will say to you, I'm sorry, I have to put another pin in, is when you work on like something that you're thinking like Fashion Week. And they go and say, oh, that's such a lovely bridal hairstyle. And you go, what? It shouldn't look like she's getting married. Right, I just have to bring this down. It has to be sitting in snugger. And because it's an elastic band, it's just got to sit in nice and snug. This will be very good for someone with big ears, clearly. All right, so there we have it. We've got, so my point is that a hairstyle should look great from every single angle. Mm-hmm. So when we do the spin test, as I call it, we've got the lattice. She's got that off. We've got the back combing at the side. She's got a lovely movement through there. So there's a nice fluidity all the way through. So I hope you like this.
Beautiful.
And yeah, it turned out really, really pretty. Great set. And we've got 2 more hairstyles to show you, and I better pick up the speed. 3 ways to make more money. Let's talk about this. So obviously, the first way we're looking at how we make more money is clearly offering more services in and out of the salon. And so, you know, that's an example. Start photographing your work. So whenever we work together in our live classes, which we do a lot of, I always say, right, view this as a photo shoot, prep. We're prepping the hair for a photograph at the very, very end. We'll take a beautiful photograph, take it in a way that's gorgeous, and then you can have something to show your client front, side, and back. So I just want you to start thinking about 2024, how you are going to expand your services. What else can you do to really like take that to that next level? The next thing I want you to be aware of is more clients, clearly. So, you know, when you broaden your skill set, you start to attract other types of people to you. So say, for example, if you've been very niched down and you've been focused on all of your lovely blondes, et cetera, I would be saying to myself, right, what more can I do with my blondes? What different setting techniques can I do? What can I do with lazy ponytails? What can I do with all of my lovely long hair clients and make them feel a bit more special? And maybe what I do is power dry their hair and do some cool braids, power dry their hair, maybe throw some rollers in. Well, you don't throw them in, but sometimes you feel like throwing them in. But you know what I mean. And so it's looking at how you can really, really expand that. And then, of course, what we're looking at too is what happened to my slide. Oh, I lost one. Well, I lost a slide. So we're talking about increasing the services that you have, obviously increasing the clients that you have, and then, of course, increasing the price of what you have. And Sarah's going to talk to you in a little bit about how she was able to increase her prices. She's doing less clients and charging more for her services. So remember, there's only 3 ways to make more money: more clients, more services, increase your prices. So I'm giving you some examples here with your long hair clients, and I'm going to give you more in a moment as to how you can do that. So 2024 is just around the corner, isn't it? So what are you going to do for 2024? What are you going to do to invest in yourself? Because now's a good time to start thinking and planning. Don't put it off. You put it off, it gets harder and harder to break old habits and have new exciting things happen. So what are you going to do? So one of the things we have is a beautiful long hair styling ebook. So if you're interested in this ebook, you can actually, in one of our sequence emails to you, we can send you a link for that. And also for any of you who do want to sign up and get a coaching call, and really look at where you are right now and where do you want to go. It's so valuable. It really, really is. I've got an amazing team of people that are very skilled and very knowledgeable, and they ask you all the most important questions about where you are and where you want to go and how do we get you there. So don't be shy. Book that coaching call, and you'll be really good to go. So in my program that I do on long hair styling, we do 2-day boot camps, which is so much fun. It's all virtual from the comfort of your own home. We have this massive library of ponytails. We have the hair heroes. We have Who's Sitting in Your Chair, and we have runway and classic editorial styles. The ponytail is a deep dive into how do we work with hair pieces and hair extensions and falls. How do you make a ponytail look fabulous? It's an art, it really is. You're back combing, you're pinning. Hair heroes. Hair heroes to me is one of my most favorite things because it's talking about some of the greatest hairdressers in our industry, and I actually had them teach me, and it's such a cool thing. So if you haven't seen Hair Heroes, it's amazing, and it's part of the editorial bundle. Who's Sitting in Your Chair is probably my signature product because to be able to create, you need permission. In order to create, you need ideas. In order to create, you need to train your eye for shape, balance, and proportion. In order to create, you need to understand fashion. There are so many levels of understanding about who is sitting in your chair, how to push, how to pull back, how to do a little, how to do a lot, when to go for it, when to play it safe. Intuition, gut feeling, rational thinking. There's so much there. So we do live events every single month all around this subject, and there's an entire digital course. And Sarah will share some information on that with you as well. So we have the runway, which is fun. What makes our programs so very, very, very different is the virtual experience. And this virtual experience is pretty special because what we do here is that when we're working in this way, we are looking at you being in your own place, you being in front of your computer, me being in front of my computer, and we go step by step together. So what happens in my style of training is you watch a video, you come to a live class, you recreate the look in class, and then from there, I can coach you. I can say elbows down, elbows up, whatever, and help you on your way. We photograph the hairstyles. So we photojournal. These are great examples of some of our fabulous students and their work. And then as we go through the journey, we do building blocks in learning and growing. And that's what makes that so super, super special. And we have a whole lot of fun. We have a tremendous amount of fun as we go into the program. So it's really a great experience. And if you have not experienced what it's like to work with me, now's your time. Now's your chance to do that, right? So our programs, as I say, are very, 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 very different. So Sarah, you've been part of the programs. You know what it's like to go out there and post your work in the community. How important was that for you when you were posting?
Well, it completed the process and it trained my eye to see things that you don't normally see, even if you do step back a little bit behind, even if you're looking at your work, doing your work, stepping back, when you actually photograph it, it gives you a whole nother perspective. And I feel like it elevated my work to a level that it was not at before.
Yeah. And the live workshops are so much fun as well, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, we laughed a lot. I mean, it's every week, so you're together every week, and you feel connected to your group and to you, and you cheer each other on, and it's a fun atmosphere.
Yes. And what's interesting, I brought this slide up because this is so interesting. The average person will spend 2 hours a day on social media, which equals 30 days for the year. What we do, what Sarah's speaking to, and what we go through is full immersion training. And what we do in our immersion training is we have fun, we watch the videos, and people will often say to me, they'll say, oh, well, Viv, I don't have the time. It's like, no, that's an excuse. A better way of saying that is it's not important enough to me. I'm interested, but it's really not important enough to me. I'd rather stay where I am, stuck. But the excuse of not having enough time is a huge excuse that people use. Another one is money. There's always a way to find money to invest in yourself. You will never go wrong investing in yourself. I, every year, invest more and more money in myself in training. I mean, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. It's my responsibility. If I'm going to be a leader in my business, I have to be constantly educating myself. Last year, I spent $20,000 just on education, in marketing, in training, in all different things that would help me be a better presenter. Next week, I'm going to do 7 days with Tony Robbins. That's not cheap, but I don't care. I care about investing, learning, training, learning, and just applying everything that I learn. So, people who are always learning and growing are fascinating to be around. They're interesting, they're exciting, they're not old in their mindset. And obviously you guys are here tonight, so I'm preaching to the choir. But I want you to take that next step tonight. If you haven't made a decision on where you're going to be in 2024 and the support that you may need along the way, tonight may be your night. And there's a couple of special promotions that we have going with it are still from our old cyber doodah, right? Which I'll tell you about later. So our training, this is what makes our training unique. We watch the videos before class. We join a live virtual class. You get feedback on your work, and then off you jolly well go. And it's so dynamic, and it's fun seeing everybody every week. So there's a Cyber Monday special promotion on a few of our products, and this is one of the products that there is a 20% discount, and we're holding it just for a couple of days. So if you're interested in this, my big suggestion will be book your call tonight, so that you can get in, and you'll be able to get the 20% discount. So don't dilly-dally, no excuses, and you'll be good to go, right, Sarah?
Right. I love the word dilly-dally.
Yeah, no dilly-dallying. I'm about to dilly-dally into a hairstyle.
Yeah.
So, the coaching sessions, it's a coaching session to establish goals, to set you on a career path, and to design it to suit your needs and your budget, your time and your budget. So that's really, really important. So let's get into doing some hair. So I thought it would be a good challenge to actually take a head of hair like this that is short. She is a little asymmetric haircut from our designer program, and I thought I would put her into a chignon, thinking about you may have a client who's got short hair. How do you do dress work on short hair and totally transform this look? So here she is right now. That's her before. When I'm voguing around the face, I'm moving the hair around and I'm looking, okay, where do I want that be? How am I going to open through there? And I'm just looking at that shape, and I start to play, and I come in here and I look at, does the lift look good? I come in here, and what happens if I lift through there? So I'm always looking to see into my mirror. My mirror is my tool, and I want to make sure that I'm balancing for there. So I'm going to now just literally run my fingers through the hair, and I'm going to take her into a little tiny chignon. And so I'm going to take this first section here, which the hair was blow dried. It was also a curling iron was put in. And I'm going to just take this here and just with my fingers, just come through. I'm also just going to come through with the tail of this comb just to catch anything else, and just gather as much hair as I can from the front into the back. I also put some oil into the hair as well. So there I have that. So before I actually pin it up, I got to look at my front and look at how that's living. I want it to be very sort of natural. I don't want a bouffant. So I'm just going to come through there, and now I'm going to just simply make sure that I'm living beneath the occipital bone. That's important. And I'm going to take an elastic band and tie this right here. So this is very layered, this hairstyle. I'm just going to take this, and as tedious and as boring as this is, but it works, right? I'm just going to flip this through. There we go. Really attractive, right? Got to sit right underneath the occipital bone. So we do this opening, and I'm sorry to be tedious. Like, how many times you've seen someone pinch a hairstyle? That's also kind of boring, but it works. So we play with what works, but we just gently pull it apart. If you don't have long nails, that's a reason to grow them, right? Yeah.
But pinching and pulling is an art too, you know? I mean, truly, because you can be really heavy-handed and just create more of a mess.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a very valid point. So, okay, so that's where we are there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I come back, and I have to make sure that I've got, now, I remember what I said, the haircut's king. This is a very sweet little haircut. So I'm going to now take this, and I'm going to take my Topsy Doodah thing, and I'm going to just thread this through. These are so useful to have for problem solving. And when you get old like me, you know, when you're going to sew anything, when you're old, you need an eye as large as this. All right, so gently pull that through. And so the biggest worry here is that it may come out. So I have my hairpins all sorted out with my little, where are they? Oh, that's too big. I'm going to use a little Japanese pin, and I'm going to sew in here. So I'm going to lift this a little tiny bit and then just sew it to the scalp and down, to the scalp and down and through, and then just arrange that. So then I'm going to come through here and just, again, take another piece. Actually, as you do the same on the other side. Let's balance. Let's go left and right. All right, so now come through here, release some pieces. Okay, I should do this in 5 minutes, Sarah.
Okay.
So when the clock strikes 12.
Okay. I'll say ding, ding.
Ding, 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 ding. So Sarah, share more with our friends, because, you know, you are a graduate from the program, and you've had some amazing experiences that have happened to you, and you've worked hard for it. Like, let me just emphasize, Sarah didn't just come for the easy ride, and she didn't come with any excuses like, oh, you know, the dog ate my homework. Mm-hmm. All right, go for it, Sarah.
Okay, so, well, I'm not afraid of doing hard things. I know that I can do hard. I can do, you know, I do have fear, just like everybody else does. Like, I'm a little scared that I'm going to fail. I'm a little scared I might look bad or whatever. But, you know, when you show up, that's the first step, showing up for yourself. Because if you don't show up for yourself, nobody else will. And if you really want something for your life, you have to get it. And so I just started showing up. And even though I felt like, well, maybe I'm not as good as this person or that person, or feeling intimidating, even, you know, feeling intimidated, I like the courage is the first step, you know, like having the courage to do something you're afraid of, and then trusting the process. And you are a very caring, kind person. And so to learn from you is very, very easy if you're open to it. So I would say, you know, if somebody was wanting to level up on their skills and increase the money that they're making, change the level of happiness in their life, it has to start with doing something different than what you're doing today. And like you said, investing in yourself.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And the fact that we show up regularly, to me, it's the first. Okay, I've been doing hair a long time, and I've never did a training the way that I'm doing them right now, ever. I've only been doing this for the last 2 years, and I've never, ever seen such transformations as I see with this, because the shift in people's behavior, in technique, in skill, in creativity, in training their eye, happens with baby steps. Mm-hmm. And because I only ask people to make a 1% improvement in every class, and we show up and we show up and we show up, they're baby steps that you can apply to your clients in the salon. Mm-hmm. So it's not like going to even my workshops. I do live workshops here, which is a lot of fun. It's wonderful. There's only so much you can do in 2 days. Mm-hmm. If you're looking to do a transformation, you can't go to any gym and say, right, I'm a big buxom wench. I'm going to come to you for 2 days, and I want to look like a Victoria's Secrets model. It ain't going to happen. Are you kidding yourself? Right? It's going to take years of showing up and showing up and don't you dare move. Showing up and showing up and showing up. So it's the same here. It's the showing up and I don't know why I did that.
You're making a very good point.
Why did I just do that? I have no idea. Anyway, I'm just gonna get rid of it, right? I didn't know what to do with it. So here it's like stuffing a turkey. There we go. That was the hardest part. Sorry, I got rid of it, right? So what we now have to do is we have to make sure that this shape, what the heck is that? Looks okay from one angle, but not the other. Right. What we have to do now is just make sure everything balances. I like to work with triangles. It's a little high here because I put a hairpin, I put the band in, but we've taken an asymmetric layered haircut and we have transformed her into a very nice little chignon. And I'm just going to bring that down a bit because you can. Mm-hmm. And then with 1 can of hairspray, she's good to go, right? And don't dilly-dally.
See, that's where I would get in trouble with fussing with it too much.
Yeah, no, you don't want to do that. Yeah, you say to her, don't let the door hit you on the way out, love. There we go. All right, so I don't know why I put that band in, but I think it was because it was being problematic. So we're not going over the art of pinning tonight, but there's a circling pinning. Well, it's not that when I say going over the art of pinning, I spend an entire class, a long time going over pinning. There's such an art to it. Sewing, harvesting, all of these things are very, very important. So, you're just seeing me do very quickly. Did I hit my time zone?
Yes. So you're right there.
All right, so now she's got her nice little look, right? So anything that you want to just sort of have dingle dangle, let it dingle and let it dangle. Anything that you don't want, you can just sew like I just did with that pin. A little bit of hairspray.
Five minutes, that's good. Actually, it was 6 minutes.
6 minutes, all right. Yeah. All right. All right, so there she goes, right? Very sweet. So that's to show you, like that, guys? So there's our lovely lady. So there we go, have a little spin so you can see her. That's our lady with short hair, giving her a nice little chignon. I don't know what that is. That's it, that's good enough, right? Okay, next. Next. I'm certainly strange tonight, that's for sure. Okay, so let's go on to what else am I going to teach you tonight? I do have things to teach you. Let's talk about one of my favorite things, the face shape. So when I look at somebody, the most important thing for me is to look at the face shape and look at where is my oval within that structure? How do I create the oval within that structure? And then when I'm looking from there, as I mentioned, I have my strategy and I have my system. So I'm always looking for balancing the face. And I have one more demonstration to show you tonight. which is going to be quite glam. And, you know, we're looking at the power of a parting. Partings change everything, how much you elevate around the face. So when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at the age and I'm looking at fashion. I'm looking at how feminine the look is. So again, you know, it's the same sort of basic set. You know, one is just loosened up as the time went on, but the parting really changed so much of this. And then when we're looking at this in relationship to depth, depth is the thing that I feel most hairdressers fail to see. Depth is everything. When you start to see depth, and I train you around depth, it's amazing what starts to happen. So again, there's our depth. Now, what we're looking at is how would this hairstyle work for a face shape like this? So now, again, we look at depth, and there's intentionality around where you put your high, where you put your low in relationship to face shape, always in relationship to balance. Remember, face shape is your balancing. So for example, if we look at these lovely images here of 1, 2, and 3, if you look at it from the perspective of a bias of young, long hair, center parting, number 1 would probably appeal to you. But if you look at it from a perspective of where is her face the most balanced, tell me in the chat where you feel her face is most balanced. Is it number 1, number 2, or number 3? And Jacqueline, the hairspray I was using was actually Joico's Shape and Finishing Spray. That's what I was using tonight. Thank you for the question. Oh, and Jose, Jose, is that Jose or, yeah, Jose Riviera. What a beautiful name. She had her coaching call yesterday. Great. Lovely. So what are we seeing here? So Kim's saying 3, Lindsay's saying 3. Welcome, Lindsay. Good to having you here. Pauline's saying 3. Great to have you here, Pauline. Anna's saying 3. Yeah, it's more balanced, isn't it? So now when we go over and we look here at our next image, you can see her evolution, right? So we've given her a totally different look. And you can see, if you now go back to number 1, her face has volume in the cheek area. If you now go to the final photograph, because there's volume all the way at the top of the head, it's made her face look much more oval and more balanced. And that's a very classic oval face shape. It looks as though her finger went in a light socket, right? Here she is. There's the hairstyle. You know, I do have a very good sense of humor. It's been tested this week, that's for sure. But I think that's really funny. I like laughing at my work. So we're getting in the season of the holidays. I've got a bling bling headband.
Nice.
Which is going to go right there. Like, what do you do with a parting? You use a headband. Right. So what I was going to do was something low in the nape of the neck. And I thought, oh, gosh, no, that'll be really dodgy. It'll look like everything I've seen on Pinterest. Mm-hmm. All right. You got to give me 10 minutes on this.
Okay, 10 minutes. It's 1:04 right now. So
what
1:14, I'm going to call you out. Ding, ding.
All right. That's why it's not working. It's not working.
You need an assistant tonight.
Oh, I do. I should have brought my husband down here. That would have been hysterical.
But he's making soup.
I sent him to FedEx yesterday. Because I've been sick for the week. I've been really foggy. And so I knocked my computer off of the stand and I smashed the entire screen. That's not good. So anyway, it was, so I sent him to FedEx yesterday to mail it to Apple to get repaired. I get out of bed at I don't know, midday today, oh, I'm not feeling very good. And I see on the front porch the box. He mailed it to me. Yeah, anyway.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's cute, right? Mm-hmm. All right. So what we're going to do here, this is, for goodness sake, woman, stand up. I know you got to pull up your ass, but really, come on. All right, so I just want to show you what I did everywhere else, because I was going to do something low in the nape of the neck, and I just looked and I thought, this is more fabulous than what I thought about. So I'm elevating the hair here. I just did a twisted the hair around the iron. So I'm elevating the hair here. I am gently, now you don't kind of go like this, like, into the hair. If you keep your elbow down, it should really be light with your wrist. I'm not doing this, which is hitting the hair. And I can just gently and mindfully come in. And when I pick up speed, obviously it starts to look a little bit different. So I'm just teasing in here just to get that nice volume. So then I come in here and I spray. Then I come in and I just put my iron right in there and let that cook. Oh yeah, you're hot. Trevor did that once and he burnt his lip. Right, so that's that. So that's what I did. So just to give that lift. So now what I'm going to do is literally, there's something about this that I like. I don't know
That's
what.
good.
But I like it. So I'm going to just like run my fingers through the hair. And again, I want bits to come out. Where, again, the haircut is king. So I'm going to just gather this and just pull it apart a little bit here. And what I'm going to do is just undo some of the back combing that's in here. So the whole area was set with, here we go, it's better with the single stick. So I'm just going to start to undo it a little tiny bit. But I don't want to brush it because that will smooth it together and it will unify. And I don't want it looking like that. I want it to look quite undone. So now that I've got that, I've got to work into my mirror. And I've got to do it in a way where obviously it's not too big. Just going to pull that apart here. Tight sides. And sometimes you're better off to make it smaller and you can pull it apart afterwards. So for example, just in here, there, if I'm going to pull that apart, I'm going to be lifting it up and lifting it up and lifting it up. So I'm better to start off smaller so that I've got room to make it bigger. Sometimes people make them too big and then when they pull it apart, it's like, ooh.
Yeah.
Need a building permit for it. So I'm going to just do that first. And now I'm going to start pulling that apart. And really, you should be working into your mirror. So this was teased and backcombed, which is the same thing. It was teased and curling ironed. I'm going to just twist this here. And I'm going to pin this. So I'm going to come through, down, and lock. And before I bring the back up, I'm now going to gently. It's hard not to look down. But if I look down, I have no idea what's going on. I only know by looking into the mirror. So you have to have an idea of a shape. Is it round? Is it asymmetric? Is it square? Is it triangular? And you have to be able to say to yourself, trust the process. This looks like her head's been put on leaning against the wall. So we don't want that. So now we put in a bit of hairspray, right? So that's a very important point. Remember, I told you to take notes tonight. You're going to be tested on it. So you need to start off smaller so that when you do lift it, you've got somewhere to go. Now, I don't like a shelf, but let's just put this thing in here because this is part of the hairstyle.
You got 4 minutes.
No problem.
Okay.
So I don't like that part there. I don't like that. All right, so now I'm going to take this clearly, that's my twist, right? Clearly, I could leave the bottom down. I'm going to now just take this, and which way do I want to do it? This way. I'm going to twist this up. No, I'm going to twist it the other way.
You got to play. It's good.
Yeah. Right. So I'm going to take that up there, and now I'm going to pin this with my long chignon pin. And I'm going to come towards me, down towards the scalp, and then towards the screen. And I'm going to just put another one in. I'm going to go up towards the ceiling and down towards the scalp. Ooh. Now that I've got that twisted, I can make sure that here is sorted out right there. And I can just start to pull some of this apart. But I've got to look at, there's a couple of things, texture and shape. So in here, this needs to kind of be lifted up a little bit. So I'm just going to come in and I'm going to take my Japanese pin. I'm going to harvest, harvest, harvest pin. I'm going to come through here and I'm going to drag that across. Remember, I want this raw. So for all the neat freaks out there, I'm freaking you out right now because this is not perfect. And
yeah, I love this.
Oh, you do? Oh,
I do.
Oh, good. Oh, good. So I shouldn't go back to bed? It has a bit, I saw an image of Kim Kardashian with a hairstyle like this. And, she always looks pretty amazing. Mm-hmm. Pretty amazing woman. So we've got this cute little fringe going on. We've got the little soft pieces. She's got that nice little bouffant. I think the headband really is quite nice. I left out the texture of the twist. So obviously, if you do a formal French twist, it's really quite different, clearly. I mean, we do them in class, and it's quite a production, doing them. But I think this just gives you a whole different sort of vibe to it, which makes it really quite sweet. Mm-hmm. Now, to hide a pin, I can see the pin right now, so that's no good. To hide a pin, you would go in with the head of the pin first. You'll come out, go back down, go back in, and then slide it through, and that's how you make a pin vanish. So this pin here, it was really holding a lot. I'm going to go inside, and then come through, and again, I want to make sure I hide that pin. Mm-hmm. So when I'm looking at the shape, I look at the balance. That's quite a nice shape. I want to make sure that that's not too high there. I don't like it when it goes up square. I like it a little bit flatter there.
Is that from the curling iron, Vivian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there we have our cute little look. So we got the little soft pieces. She's got.
And you're done. Ding, ding.
Ding, ding, right?
Ding, ding. 1/4.
Yeah. So we've got, when we look at our looks, we've got obviously our nice little bouffant. Mm-hmm. We've got our nice little, our little look here with our nice lattice work in the back, which I thought was quite cute. Mm-hmm. We've got our short haircut that looks as though she's got longer hair, which is quite sweet. Our short little haircut. Ooh! She withstood the stress test, right? So anyway, do you like those looks? Yes, guys, you like them?
Yeah, you're getting good feedback. Lovely, awesome. Yep.
Good. Well, thank you. So let's just kind of summarize, because I want to leave you with some inspiration tonight. Most people overestimate what they can achieve in a year and underestimate what they can achieve in a lifetime. So I think it's really important to have guidance, to have a coach, to be mentored, to be able to say, right, these are the things I want to do. Like I want to win NAHA, or I want to do fashion week, or I want to open my own business, or I want to be less scared of cutting hair short, or I want to be able to dress hair, whatever that may be for you. You know, it's a journey. And my desire working with any of you is that you love who you become on your journey. And Sarah said something very important earlier that I wanted you to share, Sarah, with where you were and like how you feel now.
Yeah, I was letting the clock dictate my day, you know, my schedule. Also, it dictated my level of creativity and how much time I had to spend with people. I feel like, you know, I love this industry because you can make as much money as you want. And I was a single mom. I needed to make money, and I did. But what I did at the same time, though, was kind of give away my joy. And so learning and I've worked for 3 different brands, and I love education, and I love teaching, and I love learning. So that was always part of my life. But this was a total immersion. It really was. And, you know, going to see you in the Hamptons and then you doing the hair designer program. I feel like you said, those small changes every single week adds up to a total transformation. It was a total transformation for me. I needed to work less because I had a knee injury and I had knee surgery. So I had to reduce my clientele by 40%. And then I increased my prices 3 times in the process of doing the hair designer program, and even afterwards. So I do feel like you know, it will transform your life, not just your work.
Yeah, I agree. Well, it's transformed how I do my work too. I mean, it's just incredible. So our world that I want to invite you into is simply this, where we're looking at how you can work on a new method of training. And it's my virtual academy. We do live virtual workshops for the editorial program, which has been our focus tonight. We do 2 a month. We do 2-day boot camps. We have those scattered throughout the year, which are wonderful. We do mentoring sessions. We give you feedback on your photographic work. There's, of course, the digital course with the step-by-steps and, of course, the certification. So we have a special that will be expiring by, I believe I've asked them to extend it to Friday, but you better go for it, guys. This is the collection. It's huge. You couldn't even get through this in a year. There's so much content here. So I encourage you to book your call to personalize your success path for 2024, because that's how you're going to grow and be your most successful version of yourself. So book that call. Don't do this alone. Do it with someone who's been there, done it, and got the t-shirt, right? And, you know, you'll enjoy that whole journey. So if you book the call, show up. That's really important. Sarah's heard me tell this story before, that I decided I wanted to take some of the coaching calls, and someone didn't show up for the call. So I called them, and she said, "Oh, who's this?" I said, "My name's Vivian." And they said, "Oh, who are you?" I said, "I'm a hairdresser, and you booked a coaching call with me, and I'm here to help you." She said, "Oh, I can't talk to you right now. I'm in the supermarket." I mean, "Oh, you're in the supermarket?" Yeah. And I said, "But you wanted to do something with your career." "Yeah, I know, but I'm really busy right now." I went, "Okay, have a lovely day. Bye." So you see how life gets in the way and excuses get in the way. And at the end of the day, you have to say to yourself tonight, what am I interested in versus what I'm committed to? There's been a lot of things I've been interested in. I buy a book because I'm interested in it, and I still haven't even read the damn thing. We all are guilty of buying things because we're interested in the moment. But the transformation in life takes place when you show up, as Sarah said, when you're committed and you just show up and show up and show up, and you just give it your best, and you don't judge yourself. You can't judge growth. You've just got to say, that's my prize. That's where I'm going. And I'm not going to be critical of where I am right now because I'm in progress. I'm evolving. I'm developing. I'm not going to be critical of my development. Now, would I be critical if I didn't show up? Yeah. Could I have cancelled tonight? Yes. We could have sent out a note to you all tonight saying, Viv's not feeling very well. We'll cancel tonight. And I said, no. I'm going to show up because that's what I do. I show up. It's my responsibility to show up. It's my responsibility to serve and help people. And I think the saddest thing of being me right now is seeing when people struggle and they quit so easily and they're not prepared to work for it, because I don't know of anything in life that comes easy. We can have gifts and we can have talent, and even they can ebb and flow. But if you've got a gift and a talent, you've got to work harder and harder and harder at that gift and talent to make it brilliant, to be one of the top 5 in your marketplace. If you've got talent and you just ride on that talent, you won't be in that top 5. There's no sustainability there. You've got to work at it. And when you see highly successful people in whatever occupation, they're working at it. And when you love what you do, the work is fun. It's joyful. I mean, I love doing hair. So the prepping and the setting and the challenges, that's part of my journey. Does hair intimidate me sometimes? Yeah, hair can be a very difficult, intimidating fabric to work with. But I won't let that stop me from reaching my goals. But I know I'm only as good as the people I surround myself with. I know that it's about being passionate about learning and being the very best version of yourself, because when you have authentic confidence, you have certainty. And there's something so powerful about certainty. And when that client sits in your chair and she can just go, I can trust you. I know you have my best interest at heart, and you're not going to lead me astray. I've been with clients when I've looked at them and I said, you know what, I know that there's something else we can do with your hair, but right now I'm stuck. I don't know what else. We can do this and this. And I say, but they don't feel right. I'll go and get a second opinion. Go into the staff room, grab one of the stylists and say, would you give me a second consult with this lady? Because I'm stuck. I'm a human being. I can be stuck, right? And the client's going, wow, at least she's honest. Wow. Got to put another person in. Wow. You know, the honesty and the caring and the compassion and showing up is so powerful in your life. Successful people show up. Successful people do whatever it takes. They don't care. They don't make excuses. They just show up. We have in the designer program, I always say to the group, you know, please in the first term bring models. Now, there are reasons why some people can't, because they are working from home and it's 7 o'clock in the morning, so there's a time zone difference. But I know if I were doing that program, I'd be out on the street, going to Starbucks, going to places, looking for someone who's got the hair that's part of the class for that week. And I'd say, come in, I'll give you a free whatever, I just need to blow dry your hair. Show up. Right? And some people say, oh, well, I couldn't get a model. When I was at Sassoon's, we would have to go out. If it was that night for a bob, we'd go out, we'd go to the department stores, we would just hunt down someone who would let us cut a bob. We could not go back without a model. Could not. I got kicked out of a department store because they thought I was weird because I was eyeing up all the women. Because I was looking for a model. I'm like 20 years old. I'm looking for a model because I know if I don't go back with my model, I'll get fired. And they say to you, tonight's class is on a bob. It's your responsibility to go out there and hustle and find a bob. You're a hairdresser. Hustle, connect, network, do whatever it takes. Don't come back without a bob. And do you know what you do? You go up to strangers. Hi, my name is Vivian. I'm a junior at Vidal Sassoons, and I have to do a bob tonight, and I think it would look really pretty on you. Would you please be my model? No, okay. And you get all these rejections. No, okay. So sorry to have troubled you. Thank you. Here's my card. Oh, my name's Vivian. I work at Vidal Sassoons, and I need a model, and I think you'd be really lovely. It'll be a free haircut, and I promise I'll do a really good job on you. Oh, okay, so sorry to have disturbed you. Bye. And then you just go on and on and on until you get the model and you go there, and then voila. And ironically, I'm going to just say this to you guys before we end. As soon as you do your tests, you have your 5 haircuts. Once you pass those 5 haircuts, you then go to staff training for 3 months to do your final creative test. I get all my 5 models. I'm working on them down in the basement, doing my style. I go upstairs to the art directors who are going to judge my test. Everyone's gone. It's just the cleaning lady. And I go, where are the art directors? Oh, they left, darling. I went, it's my test. It's my test. So all the ladies had to go, came in the next day, and I looked at the guy and he said, didn't you do your test last night? I went, yeah. Oh, he said, I forgot. I went, my models were all here and you didn't show up. And I thought I was going to get fired because I answered him back. He said, well, you just have to do it again, won't you? I went, get them all back in again? So I got them all back in again. I did the test. I passed my test. I go to the staff training, and now I'm in the real thing. The irony of this is I eventually became the artistic director for staff training. And I used to train all the people that went through Vidal Sassoons, and I used to put them through real challenges. But the final test, I thought, right, this is it. It's over. So I thought all my models were there, 8 models, all these creative hairstyles. You go out there, you've got to get the models back in again and again and again. It's not perfect, get it again. So it has to be perfect, or all beautiful, all done. So I can be a stylist. And I think, I haven't done it. It's just not good enough. So I thought, I'll go into the staff room because I can't go through the front door. There's a small window there. I'll climb out through the window and I'll run away. My bum was too big. It wouldn't get through the window.
That must have been a small window.
So these art directors look at my work. One of them runs his fingers over one of my haircuts. He said, you overchecked this? I thought, he's not kidding. I spent about 8 hours on that frigging haircut. She came back 3 or 4 times to have a haircut to get it perfect. And then he says to me, he said, how do you tell somebody that they've passed? And I was crying at that point. So my first client, the next day at Sassoons, I decided to do a step bob. The man who created the step bob, Fumio, was working in the reception area. 7 artistic directors, 70 people employed in the salon. My client walks down the stairs. I'm at the top of the stairs, and as I see her walking down, I think it's still not perfect. I hid myself in a corner to do the haircut. I was so terrified. Fumio looks at it, stops the woman, looks at it, asks who did your hair, sees me standing there, points to me, come down. I walk down those stairs. And I feel like such a failure. And he said, what's this? I said, it's a step bob. He said, it's not a good one. He said, you have to do it again. I said, I'm very sorry. I took the lady back upstairs. I fixed it. My first client, a step bob. Are you kidding me? She goes. So he says to me, you're not good enough. And I said, I'll just keep practicing. He said, you're not going to take clients until you're really good. He said, you're going back into training. He said, I want you in model night. So back on the streets I went again looking for models. And I swore I was going to be damn good, because being bad was horrible. and it's never stopped. I want to do everything I do better than I did before. Never stopped. Could always make it better. How do you make yourself stronger? How do you improve? How do you raise your standard? How do you get that sense of certainty? How do you help people? I mean, that's what I do now. So, you know, from that, I learned what excellence is. I learned not to compromise. I learned what it took. Within 2 years, I became the artistic director at Vidal Sassoons. I traveled the world for Sassoons. I stood on stages all over the place. I traveled with Vidal. I had my work in the Sassoon book. And from there, my career took off. And somebody said to me, Viv, he said, if you can make it through Sassoons, every door in the world will open to you. And guess what? It did. So it's never too late to start. And it's great to show up saying, I don't know how to do this, but I just want to learn. It's so exciting to learn. I don't know how to do this, but I just want to learn. It's so exciting to learn. If I screw up, then I just keep practicing as long as I learn. You know, a problem is not permanent unless you do not learn from it. A problem is a gift if you learn from it. Problems come and go. But the learning is what the magic is. And there's a mindset to learning. There's a mindset to success. And it's not sugar-coated. My best lessons have been my most hard, painful lessons. And the programs I've created now were actually born during COVID. I lost 85% of my business. And I thought, what the heck am I going to do? And I just worked around the clock and I created the content that you're now seeing. And I will continue to do that until I can't do it anymore. Sarah, thank you so much for being here tonight. That was a pretty heavy session, right? Woo-hoo.
No, I'm crying. So you know it's good.
My mum said to me, oh, don't worry, darling. You'll be good eventually. She kept on saying, the penny will drop soon. I said, the penny? It was a brick that just dropped, Mum. Anyway, guys, I thank you so much for being with us tonight. We do have one more masterclass, which is coming up, not next week, the week after. And you can join that. We'll be focusing on hair cutting. And again, I encourage you, if you're not a member of my courses, do book a call. It won't be a waste of your time, I promise you. And for those of you who are already members, thank you for being here tonight. Please share the message of what we're doing. It's pretty unique. Nobody else is doing anything quite in this style in terms of the learning style, which is producing such extraordinary results. So thank you so very much and take care. Thank you, Evelyn. Thank you, Barbara, Lisa, Angela, and Sarah, of course. Thank you so much for tonight. Take care. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.